Zepeda versus Shakur Stevenson?
Yeah, bro, you just put me in a cooking pot, bro. No, I'm playing. um, I want to say Zepeda, but then if I'm a fighter who studies boxing, I feel like Zepeda is very slow. He throws just a lot of shoulder shots. And Shakur, we got to give it to him, has good timing. He might not have a lot of power, but I feel like the body shots he's gonna land on Zepeda will slow him down. Then Zepeda is gonna like get slower, and then Shakur gonna just have his way. So in my mind, I know Shakur, but in my heart, I'm thinking Zepeda. But you never know. You never know if Shakur hands hold up. I think he'll pull it off. But if it's one of those nights where he can't fight, yeah.
Shakur says that he hits harder than William Zepeda. He believes that he will be able to stop him. Make sure you remember this message. What do you think about that? You think he can stop him?
Shit, stop talking, go prove it, brother. I ain't
Mm.
gonna lie. I feel like he could. From a headshot, I don't know. I don't know. A body shot, maybe, maybe. I would lean towards more of a body shot than a one punch knockout for sure.
Mm.
I feel like it's just gonna get to the point where Zepeda is gonna slow down, and then Shakur probably just gonna be able to tee off on him. That's how I look at it.
It seems like it's going to be an interesting fight. It seems like, all these fights, your fight this weekend, it's like we're going to learn a lot about who you guys are. And then the same thing with Shakur. I mean, we're going to learn more about that style per se. And it's going to, this is all going to unwind in about 2 weeks to see what's the boxing topic really going to be. You tell me, what do you see? What do you see at the end? Like, what is everyone going to be talking about, Floyd? Because like you said, you outboxed Tevin, right? But obviously, if you outbox him and stop him late, that's probably the flawless victory, pretty much.
I think so. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Um, does that mean anything to you? Because performances nowadays, right now, with Turkey Al Sheikh on board, it just seems like it's everything now.
Yeah, I think that would be the biggest way I could win this fight. Because nobody, come on, let's be for real. Nobody's like, oh, he can box with Tevin. I know that for a fact. There's probably not nobody that could be like he could box with Tevin. So I just feel like getting the victory like that, it would mean more to me than anything else. You know. But if a knockout happens or if we gotta bang it out, I'm cool with either way. But I just wanna show something different. So man.
Tell me, do you feel like when your pops talks about the blind sides of his eyes, right? Do you feel like he's trolling Tevin, or do you really believe that science that there are blind spots due to that?
I mean, I don't know how Tevin's, vision is as far as it, but if you look it up, like if you do have a cocked eye and one eye looks this way, one eye looks this way, this eye don't go this way to this eye looks this way. So technically, yeah, you would have a blind spot, and of course, yeah, my dad is he trolling as always, but I feel like there's some science to it. People just
It
gotta
could
look
be
it
two
up.
rights to it. It could be two rights to it.
Yeah, but if he had a straight eye, I don't care. You still gonna get the same treatment. So I'm just ready for Saturday. I'm ready to put on a show.
Anything that you're expecting leading up to the fight? Obviously, this is a Jake Paul and Chavez main event. I mean, talk to me. What are you expecting in this week?
Nothing really. Everybody seems cool here. There's no drama here. No,
Has
none of
Jake
that.
has Jake said anything new about you?
Nah, I haven't seen Jake. I seen his business partner though. He gave me a hug, and they cool. But yeah, I just expecting to put on a good show for everybody and go home. I just want to go home, bring the belt back to my son, turn off my phone for a couple days, and just be like, okay, I did it.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. Um, what's your thoughts on Devin Haney moving up to 147 and Bill Haney wanting that Brian Norman fight? I mean, do you feel like that is basically him promoting the fight and we all know that this fight's not gonna happen? You tell me, what's your thoughts?
Man, Bill, he crazy, bro. I ain't gonna lie, Bill's entertaining though. He's entertaining for boxing, but I feel like Devin should stay away from 47. Like, let's be honest, he couldn't handle Ryan at 40, so I feel like 47 that's just too much. Let alone Brian Norman. I grew up with Brian Norman. You know,
Oh,
I
you
was
did.
younger than. Yeah, we grew up in Atlanta. Um, so I always seen him sparring. He was knocking dudes out from a teenager. You know, so and Brian, he got dog in him. He don't care. He'll spar heavyweights. It don't matter. So Bill better stop playing, bro. Brian will put Devin in the hospital, in my opinion. But
Wow.
there might be some other guys, you know, maybe if Teofimo move up, you know, smaller guys, maybe Devin might have a chance. But as far as the big names at 47, nah, they ain't a good move in my opinion.
Not a good move in your opinion.
Mm-mm.
Shit. Yeah. Honestly, like I hear what you're saying. I'm picking up what you're putting down, honestly, because it just doesn't make any sense. It just really does. Like, why would you go with someone that's faster, stronger, more twitchier, and just more acclimated to the weight class? You know how? I mean, you don't know how it is, but like once you get that belt and you're like a champion, they say you're like a new fighter.
Yeah, I
You
think
heard
so.
that saying before? You heard that saying before?
Yeah, I can understand why though. So yeah, you got a point there.
Um, Obviously, Tevin Farmer has been on the wrong side of decisions numerous of times. Controversy. Do you feel like if there's any of that, you would get the support of the people? Do you feel like people would believe in you if you got the nod and you possibly it was such a close? You know what it is that this is what I hate about boxing fans, Floyd. Right? Anything close, they call it a robbery. 7 5s, 8 4s. People are calling robberies really quick. It sucks for you guys that you guys put it all on the line, and then you got to deal with the social media the next day. Tell me
Yeah.
about that. And as far as has that ever went through your mind? I mean, obviously you don't want it to go through your mind.
I just really don't feel like it's gonna be a close fight. You know, that's not what I'm looking for. You know, if it's a close fight, I didn't do my job. Or who knows? Maybe he just was great that night, but I don't see it being a close fight. But yeah, I feel like people should stop blaming the fighters. It's the judges who make the decisions. I mean, if y'all gonna go after somebody, go after the judges that's making those decisions. Get those judges out of there. Get us some new judges. But I feel like fighters who get that decision, it's not their fault. They fought the best that they could. They didn't. I've seen fighters who literally they'll have their whole head down, knowing they lost, and they'll get the decision and still don't look satisfied after the fight. Because at the end of the day, if you know you lost, you know you lost. You knew that person was a better fighter. So I feel like we should stop getting at the fighters, get the judges out of here that's making those moves. So
When I was the last time I talked to you and your pops, he was saying that listen, he's not getting enough credit for some of these cards that you've been on. Do you feel like this card per se, just because it's like you're a Golden Boy fighter, and this is Jake Paul, the promo is gonna really kind of skyrocket you because it's the fight that everybody wants to see you win right now, but it's under a Jake Paul card.
I honestly don't care what people think. Like I said, I'm just here. I'm glad I was able to fight on a card like this. I'm glad, Jake and Oscar, was able to put me on a card. Um, but I'm just going in there to fight. I'm going in there to fight and make it home to my family. So that's all that matters to me.
Tell me, looking at you guys, William Zepeda, you guys are fighting right next door. Like, let's be real, it's like a couple weeks in between. Do you feel like Oscar might want to entertain that fight next?
He could. I mean, he could if he want to get Zepeda knocked off early. Um, but I just feel like after I do what I got to do this weekend, and after what Shakur probably going to do to Zepeda, I feel like Zepeda's just going to go downhill from there. So we'll see, though.
Wow, that's awesome, man. Anything new with you in this training camp per se? Anything different that you have done that you haven't done in other training camps?
I got a lot more sparring. That was good. I got a lot more southpaw sparring at that. I had to come out of pocket, but it is what it is. Sometimes you got to pay to be the best, but I got a lot more sparring. Like I said, I got to have my son at home, so it was able to push me even more. So yeah, it's gonna be an exciting fight. Yeah, it's gonna be a great fight.